Thanks for tuning in to the Diaphragm Dynasty. I'm back with another topic. Now, just to discuss this Usher and Chris Brown tour, which I expect to be a mega tour. It doesn't seem like it's promoted that way, especially for two legends in R&B and two legends in pop music. These guys have transcended genres, starting off originally as R&B singers, but have transitioned or transcended the genre to pop music to be household names. Because we know in R&B, to be a household name, you have to move over to that pop world, i.e., a Rihanna or a Beyonce. These artists have transcended music because we have R&B artists who unfortunately haven't reached that mark yet and hasn't become household names. But once you become household names, your brand is inevitable. Your brand is everywhere. And these two artists have definitely done that. More so Usher because he's been out since the, early mid 90s all the way till now, has put out classic albums and has all this different cachet and did the Super Bowl, which I think Chris Brown, I'll talk about in a little bit, has an opportunity to do that hopefully. But I think this tour will be one of the greatest tours ever just because of the legendary status of these artists. And if it's done right, they can probably parlay this into other things. But they will be co-headlining a tour next month starting on June 26th. Now, not only are these guys great artists, I mean great R&B singers, but they're great artists. They can sing, they can dance, um, they can act. These guys are actors as well. They've played in movies, several movies. So these guys have unique talent from just being crooners to being thespians, so to speak. So these guys have a different skill set. And these guys were two students of the game that were inspired by Michael Jackson. Now, both of these guys talk about the Michael Jackson influence, and especially Chris Brown, and how he learned how to dance because he loved Michael Jackson and his music and his tribute to Michael Jackson once he died in '09 at the BET Awards, and how he broke down at some of his sets, just performing some of his music. This shows you his true love for not only the music, but Michael Jackson and what he did for the industry and how he, was kind of ostracized at one point and how people looked at him. And Chris kind of related, I believe, in some points to Michael Jackson from that standpoint. But both of these guys were both heavily influenced by Michael Jackson. And I expect there to be some kind of tribute, some kind of Michael Jackson inspired set between these two guys that will be amazing to see because not only do these guys have a huge catalog, but they can sing and mimic other artists as well. And I believe, especially Chris Brown, his ability to mimic Michael Jackson and to dance like him and have the moves and have the cachet and have the bravado. I think he has an ability to do that and give the fans something great, especially with the recent release of the Michael Jackson movie that just came out and all the love that Michael Jackson is getting over and over again from the recent tributes to him and things like that. So I think this is a great opportunity for those guys to show that love for Michael Jackson and showcase their skill set as well, because it's just not about the singing at this concert. It'll be about the performances. It'll be about the creativity and the mashup of the two artists. Will they come out individually? Will they have a co-set? Will they go back and forth? All of those things will be considered and taken into the play. And I'm ready to see the videos. Probably won't be able to go out to the tour, but I'll be excited to see the videos and see how they do it and get the reviews from that. Because I think this will be a historic show. And these guys have so much music. They have at least, if you go through just their hits and their A sides, these guys have a day worth of music. So if you came in there to see him at 6 in the morning, you could leave out at midnight, uh, because these guys have so much music, especially Usher from the '90s and all of the soundtracks, songs that these guys done and collabs and their solo catalogs. They have so much music. So a shortness of music won't be an issue, because I think Chris Brown's first album was a classic. Usher's, of course, Confessions is a classic. You can make a debate if 8701 is a classic. But just these albums alone, these 3 albums alone, they can perform a show of just those. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring a lot more than that because the set list will be crazy. There will be a lot of different songs that you might have forgot about or songs that come back up that they bring out, especially from the Usher side, that these guys can perform songs that have been tearing up the charts and been Billboard darlings and things like that. So they have those, especially with the recent songs with Chris Brown's Residuals uh, that made its way around TikTok and Instagram, and all these R&B singers did covers to it. One of the greatest songs, R&B songs that's been put out in the last 10 years. So these guys have those different assets over the last couple of years. So, and I think Chris Brown just released a recent project titled Brown, which is still growing on people and still has time to move through. So it'd be interesting to see if he play a lot of those songs because fans are still learning those. So I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff is going to be built off the catalog and the discography that's already been put out. But he has an extensive discography dating all the way back to Run It, Say Goodbye, Young and Poppin'. Then he has the song No Guidance with Drake. He has Back to Sleep, which I'm a huge fan of. Deuces, Look at Me Now with Busta Rhymes. If he brings out Busta Rhymes in New York, that would be amazing, especially Busta Rhymes has one of the most imitated verses on that Look at Me Now song that a lot of people try to imitate. It's very difficult to rap because Busta Rhymes has a lot of energy and has a lot of charisma, has a lot of just breath control. So it's a very difficult verse to rap. So it'd be interesting to see if he does that. But we know what Usher has. He has Confessions, all of Confessions album he could perform if he wanted, from start to finish. He has You Remind Me. He has You Got It Bad. He has You Don't Have to Call. Can You Help Me? Loving This Club, Nice and Slow. He has a discography just from the 90s that he could perform that's amazing. But Confessions and 8701 um, songs from that album have to be played, or albums have to be played, because those are, arguably his 2 best albums, which I don't think many people argue with you on that one, on that discussion. But he has probably the most impeccable discography or catalog that an R&B artist can have. Um, Even your top R&B artists don't have what he has, just because of just the multi-talented things he can do, the vocal range he has, just the charisma he has, and just putting acting and dancing on top of all of that, and the Super Bowl performance that he did, which I think this is an opportunity for Chris Brown to do a Super Bowl appearance as well, because I think while Chris Brown wasn't seen highly in lights by Jay-Z from the issues that he had in the past, I think Usher can influence Jay-Z somehow to make Chris Brown at the Super Bowl happen, and I think this is a good shot for Chris Brown, because he's been pretty good in the media lately. He's been doing all the right things, putting out a lot. He's been working hard, with tours and things like that, and Usher has as well, as we know, Usher has done Super Bowl over the last couple of years. He's done that Vegas residency program. He's done a lot of tours as well, so this is a huge opportunity for Chris Brown, and I think he'll take advantage of it. But can Chris Brown finally get that Super Bowl nod? That's yet to see. I believe he's still blackballed in a lot of different ways. So hopefully he can get past that and get to a Super Bowl performance, because I think it'll be legendary. And I think he will do some kind of Michael Jackson tribute and bring back some nostalgia back to the Super Bowl performance and bring some light to it, but that's yet to see. But I think this tour will be great, and this tour will be one of the greatest tours that we've ever seen from an R&B artist. But tell me your thoughts about the Usher and Chris Brown tour, and until next time, I'll see you next time.